Welcome to Wrestling News and Opinions reaction to NXT Takeover Brooklyn. And the main event, the co-main event, was the other belt, the NXT Championship, the Men's Championship. Finn Balor versus Kevin Owens in a ladder match. And this was an incredible match. I mean, these are two of the top wrestlers in the world, bar none, in their prime. So a great main event, and I'll tell you, it was going to be tough to follow that match between Bayley and Sasha Banks, but only these two could do it, and only this match could. This ladder match between Finn Balor and Kevin Owens is these guys. I'll tell you what, they were innovating violence to repeat a cliche. I mean, this was something. It was like a blast from the past, but even better than memory could serve. Like, going back to the great ladder matches throughout wrestling, even looking back to the ECW days, then even the ladder matches in WrestleMania history, there's been quite a few, and they've been really excellent. But this match right here, I'll tell you what, I was saying that the Bayley Sasha Banks match could be, deserving of a Slammy for Match of the Year. This match right here would be nominated as well. It was an excellent way to cap off an excellent evening of wrestling. This event was top notch, definitely a must see for all wrestling fans. I would say definitely check it out. In the beginning of the match, there was actually something that will address the elephant in the room. You saw the audience, everybody was like distracted, it seemed. They were looking off to the side. Of course, they didn't, make any mention of it, they didn't acknowledge it. But what it was there was a couple of fans, they tried to throw some streamers into the ring for Finn Balor. He's Prince Devitt over in New Japan before coming over to NXT, and with the Bullet Club and everything. You saw some people in the crowd actually with Bullet Club shirts, which you should check out the Hoots on MLW Radio. They drop that every Saturday. But anyway, so there also was shirts that said Balor Club, because he was the leader of the Bullet Club. He actually was on the Hoots podcast, Talking Shop, just a couple weeks ago. So he was on that podcast, talking about their days back in New Japan. And that's the thing they do over in New Japan, is they throw the streamers in the ring, especially like for the Bullet Club when they come out and everything. And they also, Ring of Honor does some talent sharing with New Japan, and they do the same thing. Like when the Young Bucks are out there, like Machine Gun Anderson and Lou Gallows come out there, they be throwing the streamers, Tamatanga and everybody, the Bullet Club. So anyway, these fans tried to throw the streamers. Apparently they missed. They didn't do a good job of it. And so then everybody started chanting like, that they can't throw. Then the security went over there to eject them. But then, people were like upset about that, and everybody's paying attention. But then apparently they let them back in. And so then everybody was all excited and like glad that, they didn't get kicked out actually. So that was, what happened there. But anyways, in this match, it was crazy. It was incredible. They made great use of the ladders. I tell you, like, if you haven't seen this match, definitely go check it out. If you have the WWE Network, what are you waiting for? You should have already watched it. And if you haven't, stop listening to me right now and go watch it. But if you don't have the WWE Network, it's free. Go sign up. And just for this match, just for this NXT Takeover Brooklyn. But hey, you would get SummerSlam also, so that's going to be awesome. Even though they're going to have to step it up tomorrow night on SummerSlam, the main roster is going to have to bring it to actually perform at the level that they were performing at here on NXT Takeover all night long, and then especially with these two co-main events and this match right here. I mean, they were really going at it. It was violent. It was crazy. A moment that really stuck out to me was when Kevin Owens had the ladder like propped against Finn Balor, who was propped against like the ring apron, and he backed up like he was gonna run up the ladder, and that was just crazy. It was like when you're watching a horror movie and you think the killer's about to kill somebody, but then they don't, because then he just pulled up and he punched him in the face. But he got that emotional reaction out of it. And that was the thing about this match, is that they had a tough job, because you kind of knew Finn Balor's going to win this match. And this thing, Kevin Owens, man, he's in the main event of NXT Takeover Brooklyn, and then he's going to be fighting again on SummerSlam versus Cesaro. I mean, this guy is one of the hardest working guys in wrestling, and he is just a genius in the ring. Both these guys, Finn Balor as well. You know, Kevin Owens, watching him in the ring, man, it's like every single thing he does, he's so aware of what he's doing and what it means in like the continuity of a match, even like little things where there'll be a moment where I'll think like, oh, it looked like maybe he screwed up a little bit there, but no, he doesn't. He doesn't. It's calculated, like everything, every little thing. Even if you think, oh wait, is he screwing up? No, he's not. He's so genius that what it is he was playing possum when he comes out of that, like he was over in the corner. And it looked like, oh, he was out of position maybe, because then he just kind of like laid against the ladder, but then he came off the ladder with a vicious clothesline because he was playing possum. That kind of stuff is genius. That's kind of stuff that it's just little things like that Kevin Owens is so underrated, and he is one of the top talents by far, and he's always coming up with such amazing moves, just great ways to create violence in the ring. It's just incredible. It's so entertaining. It's very awesome. And Balor as well. And they were doing some crazy stuff with the ladder. Like I said, that whole thing earlier. And then even later on in the match, when you had the ladder like in the corner up against the other ladder, and they were on top of the ladder like punching each other, and then Balor pushed him down, and Owens landed on top of that ladder that was propped in midair from the corner to the other ladder. That was crazy. Then even when he did the standing senton onto Finn Balor, who was laid out on the ladder, that was nuts as well. And then when he went to do it in the corner, but then Balor moved out the way, and they were doing, he was hitting with the super kicks, Balor's hitting with the insecurities, and they had some stuff going on over too with the announce table that was pretty awesome, and it spilled out over the barricade. I mean, they were all over the place. And then at the end of the match, the climax, when Finn Balor was reaching up, and then he decided, no, he went up and he hit the freaking coup de grace off the top of the ladder, off the one step from the top. But I mean, it'd be kind of insane to go all the way to the tip top. But he was at the top basically, on that top step. And to do that coup de grace, it's Kevin Owens. Oh my goodness, Kevin Owens is gonna have to wrestle after taking that. Oh, and after this match, and it was a long match. They went like about 20 minutes over, past 11. So, and they started before, so it was about a good solid half hour plus that they wrestled. It was quite the match, a real physical match at that, too. It's a really awesome match. Definitely check that out if you haven't already. And if you have, let me know what you think in the comments section below. If you enjoyed it as much as I did, because I know I thought it was awesome. And he hit that coup de grace, and then he climbed up the ladder, he positioned it perfectly. And the thing, like I said, I mean, you already knew he was going to win, pretty much. I mean, it was kind of a guarantee. But then, like, it still was such a great match. Even after the coup de grace, when he climbed the ladder. Like, he just is so good, Balor. Like, it's a rare thing for someone to know, like, when to just take that moment to let the emotion sink in. And I'll tell you what, like, it hit me. Like, I got emotional even, like, seeing him at the top of the ladder. And that moment, like, there was pause for a second, and then he reaches up and grabs the belt. It was awesome. It was definitely a great way to cap off a really good, not pay-per-view per se, but event on the network. The only thing, there's only one match on the whole thing that I wasn't really keen on, which would have been good if it had different people cast in that era, if it had been Enzo and Big Cass. But yeah, that's just, one thing. The co-main events were so good that didn't even matter. Like, with the Bayley and Sasha, and then with this match right here, I mean, this is one of the top, wrestling events of the year. I'd put it right up there, like, maybe not WrestleMania, but it's, like, it's pretty close, like, because it just, even though it was only 2 hours, it was just jam-packed with some awesome action. And like I said, those two co-main events, like, those were unforgettable. Those are two matches that you gotta see if you're a wrestling fan. Two matches that you won't forget. Two matches I won't forget. Like I said, overall, I thought it was a really good event. I'd almost give it 5 stars, probably give it 4 stars just because of the tag team match, maybe 4.5, because the co-main events were just so good. So I thought, like I said, overall, a really good card, a really good night of action, and it, capped off excellently by 2 really good title matches. First with Sasha Banks and Bayley, and then with Finn Balor and Kevin Owens. So that's what I thought about. I thought it was awesome. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Definitely interested to read your thoughts and opinions. Thank you very much for listening. It is appreciated.